It's another bright and early morning from Lisbon. I'm heading off on a day trip. You guys know I love my day trips. I'm heading off on a day trip to Sintra. It's about an hour away from Lisbon. Standing room only. Okay, so I made it to the small town of Sintra. If I'm completely honest, I see even more tourists here than in Lisbon, which for me usually isn't a good sign, but this is a beautiful part of the country surrounded by mountains and cliffs, and there's tons of castles and palaces which are just gorgeous, and everybody says this is one of those places that I kind of have to see for myself. So, and right up there is the Castle of the Moors. That's one of many castles here in this area. I'm gonna try to get up there. There's a whole slew of tourist agencies and buses and taxi and rickshaw drivers that do offer rides around this whole area. Prices are around 20 euros. I decided to go about it myself, and I'll just take public transportation. This area is big, so it's not really possible for me to walk to each castle, but I'm heading over to Quinta de Regaleira. This is like one of the many beautiful castles and palaces here. So one of the first reasons why I came here is because there's this huge well. Guys, check that out. This is called the Initiation Well. And there's like a spiral staircase that'll take you all the way down to the bottom. Check this out. So I guess the guy that built this whole estate was an eclectic, and there's a whole series of tunnels and grottos, staircases. Yeah, that's better. It's pretty crazy, honestly. Can't even see where I'm going. Look at this. Would you look at that? There's a waterfall. I do have to say, the nature here is pretty stunning. So this estate is pretty big. There's about 4 hectares of land that you can just wander around. If you look at that, there's a little footpath there. So I did some research about this estate, and apparently it was owned by a bunch of wealthy merchants from Porto. But sometime in the end of the 19th to the beginning of the 20th century, a guy named Carvalho Monteira purchased this estate, and he actually believed in the Freemasons and the alchemists and Knights Templar. But I gotta say, it's quite a lot of fun just seeing it all and wandering around. Found another secret tunnel. Guys, I have no clue where this is going. This is going deeper and deeper. Holy hell. Well, I found the grotto. Look at that. There it is. I would have completely missed that if I hadn't taken that left turn into the tunnel. Some really intricate architecture in this palace. Guys, look at this. It's a pretty quick tour of the palace, but I'm gonna head out of here and on to the next destination. Okay, so here's the latest scoop. I had to make my way back down into the train station to catch the bus to go to my next stop, which is slightly annoying. It would have taken me like an hour and a half to hike up. Such an insanely steep ride up to the top. This castle is the Moorish Castle. It's located at the top of the Sintra Mountains. I think elevation like what, 1,600 feet. That's why we had to drive on that curly road, and look at these boulders everywhere. What makes this castle so special is that it was built by the Muslim invaders of the Iberian Peninsula back in like the 10th century. And then, of course, the Christians reconquered the peninsula, and yeah. Weather is definitely a lot cooler up here. Very windy. And there's the Peña Castle, which I don't really think I'm gonna go get to see. That's probably the hiking path that I'm gonna take later on when I get back into Sintra. Look at that vegetation. Literally felt like the king of my castle at the top over there. That's really why I do these things, because you really get to appreciate the places that you're staying at. Like gorgeous views like this, castles and mountains. Yeah, this is my favorite spot in Sintra. So windy up here that I have to literally hold the camera with both hands because I feel like it's gonna fly away out of my hands down this cliff. One of the reasons why the Moors actually built this castle in the 8th and 9th centuries is because they used it to protect the agricultural valley, which they needed to feed their populations. They also controlled Lisbon, and this was also an important strategic point for that whole area. But the Christians came in around the 12th century, and then they reconquered it, and well, now this is Portugal. I think that's enough of a history lesson for everybody. But yeah, this is a really cool place. Come here if you're ever in Lisbon. Okay, and that was my visit to the castle. 2 thumbs up, guys, while I'm holding the camera. I'm actually gonna hike back down to Sintra. I would love to make it to the Peña Palace. However, I still wanna make it to Cabo da Roca, and I do have a 35-minute hike down. If you really wanna avoid the crowds in Sintra and not overpay for the price of food, I highly recommend coming to like a small, tucked away street side cafe. Ordered a nice ham, cheese, and chorizo sandwich and a beer. It was all pretty cheap, like only like €5. So however much I hate to admit it, I would probably recommend getting on a tour bus to come to Cabo da Roca or even Sintra, because my hostel had that option and I didn't take it. So I've been using public transportation the entire time. And I gotta say, it's been pretty uncomfortable, but also time consuming and more of a money drain, to be honest, because the tours have only cost like what, €20, and I've spent a little bit more than that in public transportation tickets. It is quite windy here, but after all that, I have made it. This is the westernmost point of the continental mass of Europe. There's a lighthouse here, and we can see the Atlantic Ocean. Check this out. The views are just spectacular. It is so windy here. You can just feel the raw power of the Atlantic Ocean. Probably even the jet stream. These gusts are like 50 to 60 miles an hour. It's insane, but the views are just, oh my God. I'm so glad I actually made it out here. One side you have Atlantic Ocean, on the other side you have this huge valley. And beyond that hill over there, that's where Sintra is. That's where we came from. yeah, that's pretty much it for Cabo da Roca. Oh my God, it's so amazing. I'm actually heading on to the bus. I'd stay around a little bit longer, but the bus comes every 30 to 40 minutes. I kind of want to head back into Lisbon. So as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next one.